Okay, assuming the game doesn't crash. Are we good? Okay. Hello, Nihilistic Pangolin. Hello, Gaia's Goat. Hello, Smo. Hello, Duck. Hello, Nixie. Hello, Hirago. Um, I'm not lying, and that's kind of the point of the stream. I love this game, and I want to talk about why, and I don't want to have to wait until I can put together a 500-page script to do that. um, there are a few cutscenes, and I'm going to be skipping most of them, just for the sake of time, and a lot of them aren't super important to what I want to talk about. I do want to let the first cutscene play out because I think it's not good, and it's one of the few parts of this game that I think are not good. Um, but yeah, don't worry.
In a time long since past, in an age of darkness, when the earth was
That is
overrun with
hopefully the point of
demons
this stream.
and humans
The overall, like,
helpless under their
overarching story between games isn't what I'm super
humanity's
interested in here.
father,
As much as I do like it, that's not
King Sparda,
why I want to talk about this game or why I like
with
it.
a spirit unlike any other, and wielding the sword that bore his own name.
Yeah, I'll let the
Sparda
explosion play.
dedicated
Smo, thank you.
his
That's true. Okay, here's the important part.
And now, the legend of Sparda has been inherited by his son, the Demon Slayer, Dante.
Hold on, turning up the game. Okay. Is that better?
You called?
Till next time, son of Sparda.
Okay, so setup for this game, if you didn't catch it, uh, Dante was called by Lucia to come to this place. I don't know, does it say, it just says ocean. I don't think it says where in the world this actually is. But, or the north, but Dante was called here by Lucia, and then points out on the map where she wanted him to go, and that's our goal for the first mission. But the first cutscene, the reason I love how Dante is introduced immediately. I like how Lucia is also introduced. Them fighting demons and being kind of aloof with it, and also being as cool as possible with it, right? I think that's pretty clearly one of the most important things about Devil May Cry. But also, there's a lot of foreshadowing in that cutscene. There's like, you know, you see the oh my god, the Arcana that she takes, the coin, which is huge. It does just look like messed up Africa, I agree. um, but the voice acting, in my opinion, ruins that cutscene. The vibe is great until Lucia starts talking, and it's just because of her intonation, and that makes me sad. I do, for the most part, really like this game. Also, I think this is the best design they've ever had for Dante. The fact that he climbed up on this tower just to see where he's going is awesome. I'm playing Dante because I don't like the Lucia story as much. I think Lucia's fine, but I just prefer Dante for a lot of reasons. This isn't a real DMC game because Dante doesn't ask if she wants to use his toilet in the first cutscene. That's true. So this game is a little different in terms of combat from the first game in basic combos, because you have the neutral combo, where you don't touch the control stick at all. You have the combo where you're pressing a direction on the control stick the whole time, which is a different combo. And those two are like the main ones. Yeah, most of the time I'll probably accidentally be using the 3-hit combo. There's 2 hits, press a direction on the stick, and then keep mashing. And then there's 3 hits, and then press a direction on the stick. All of them have different uses. Instead of the timing-based inputs that you have in DMC 1 and 3, and I mean all of them actually, other than this one, I think this one flows a lot better. Though I can see I definitely see merit to both versions. So I'm not going to say that that's exclusively better than the rest of the series, as much as this is probably my favorite game. There's also gun spam if you're bad at the game, and I will get into that in a second. I'm not going to go for S ranks necessarily, because this game has by far the hardest S ranks in the series, in my opinion. Or at least, no, yeah, in the series, except maybe DMC 3. DMC 2 has very difficult S ranks. Anyway, so the most infamous thing about this game, right? You can spam guns and enemies get juggled and whatever, but that does so little damage, and I've never understood why people are so fixated on the fact that you can do that when it just makes the game less fun. Like, obviously, if you play the game in a not fun way, you're not going to enjoy it when, you know, melee does so much more damage. The weirdest thing about this game, in my opinion, is that when you're rolling, your style meter doesn't decrease. Gun spam borderline necessary for some of the bosses. I mean, there are definitely bosses that you're intended to fight primarily, if not exclusively, with guns. I think 3 is easier to S rank. That's fair. I think my problem with 3 is that I'm bad at it. We'll get to, like, Infested Chopper, because, like, I'm not going to defend Infested Chopper. I don't think that's a good boss. But for the most part, the gun spam thing is a lie made up by people who don't want you to enjoy things. Oh, people complaining about the gunplay of Jak 2. I have not played any of the Jak games. Did that one just disappear? I've never seen that, actually. This game has secret rooms instead of secret missions. I'm probably not going to do very many of them. I just want to show off the fact that they exist. I'm not sure how they, like, affect your ranking, or if they do. The one thing that is probably most complained about in this game is the style meter, because in a lot of people's opinions, it doesn't encourage variety very much, because, as you can see, I've been spamming Stinger, and I'm on an A rank right now. And, like, that is a valid criticism. However, you have to apply that to the first game as well, because the first game had a very similar style meter, and I don't think that encouraging variety was really the goal here. It was more encouraging arguably style, but also efficiency, which the first game is also definitely an efficiency meter in the same way. The easiest way to get S ranks in combat is to, obviously, spam Stinger and then just use your guns from there. The rolling is one of my favorite things about this game, I think. Just having a dodge button without having to lose out on, you know, better sword combos or whatever. Like, just the fact that you have so many styles, or so many attacks at your disposal throughout the whole game that you're able to master the whole time, instead of having to, you know, unlock them halfway through the game, or hope you unlock them before the one specific point that you want to use that one specific move or whatever. Like, just the fact that you have all of your attacks unlocked from the beginning, and it's more so you're learning to use them, I think is really cool. I understand not liking that. I understand preferring, you know, unlocking stuff as you go through the game. But this is your first impression of the DMC franchise. To be entirely honest, I started playing this one 100% because I thought it looked cool. I was watching from in chat as Mjolnir there play through the first game because it was a series that I'd always wanted to get into, and she liked it, and she started playing this game, and I thought it looked really cool. Just like the opening shot, I loved the aesthetic of it, and so I started playing it and we ended up playing through it together, and I played through it in one sitting and really enjoyed it. And then I went into it knowing that people hated it, and I really did not understand why the whole time. And we'll get to the parts that even I think aren't great. You know, Fested Chopper is a great example of that. Trying to keep your style up while dealing with these enemies like spawning up on the roofs also kind of sucks. There are issues, in my opinion, with like a little bit of the level design. That was a skill issue on my part. The shoulder check. I did the shoulder check on accident. That's crazy. We'll see how well I end up doing in terms of rank. I don't think I'm going to do very well. I'm not going to like claim this game is perfect, but I'm also going to claim that I prefer it to DMC3 in pretty much every way. The fact that you can run up walls just from the beginning of the game for fun, and it's extremely cool. Admittedly, I do think the style meter fades too quickly for that to be something you can really weave into combos in an interesting way, but also, normal mode, enemies are extremely passive relative to how they are in the rest of the series. Normal mode is effectively this game's easy mode. And while I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, I can really understand why that specifically, like the passivity of enemies really threw a lot of people off from playing this. Because I do think hard is much, much more fun. Even if not necessarily better for a first playthrough. If they had done the whole easy mode is now available thing with this game, I think it would have gone over a lot better, the difficulty of this one. Oh, I left my rank. My criticisms of DMC3 are wide-reaching. God, I don't like the story or characters as much as this game. Well, okay, I like the story presentation better. I don't like the story itself better, I guess. I think a lot of the enemies are not very intuitive, in that I think a lot of the ways you're expected to counter them isn't communicated very well. As much as you can learn it, I think it relies too much on ways of communicating that I personally don't find very fun to engage with. Like, I like the sound thing, absolutely, but when it comes to learning what sounds are relative to what attacks and everything, it feels a lot more trial and error. And whatever. Want to play DMC specifically because there's a cool poster of DMC3 in a shop near you. I would recommend starting with DMC1, but if you don't enjoy it, I mean, playing DMC3 first is also not uncommon. I think you could start with any of them and enjoy it. I didn't know you could stand up there. Okay, this is another important cutscene. That explosion is never explained. Do not start with DMC Devil May Cry. I'm glad I can help at least a little bit, Naruto. I hope you get better. Oh my god! I'm so good at this game, actually. That is the first time I've ever gotten all S ranks in any mission in this game at all. Wow. So the style meter is the words in the top corner while I am in combat. I think I'm going to save my red orbs for when I get streamer not washed. Absolutely dirty streamer. I'm probably going to save my orbs till I get rebellion, just because more damage, more gooder. Okay. This mission is one that I hear a lot of criticism for, like this one specifically for some reason, and I've never really understood why. I think this is a really interesting puzzle mission in terms of like how it teaches you the mechanic, but also teaches you how to explore, to pay attention and like maybe explore in alternate orders when you come back to certain missions. Stream is way behind. I mean, you'll catch up eventually. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a very good level to get you into the mood for exploring the way this game expects. The 2-hit combo, which is the one where you hit twice and then hold a direction on the stick is probably the best combo. Not for every situation, obviously. I think all the combos are good, but I think it's, while not necessarily the most difficult to perform, the most versatile. Watch it on double speed to catch up. I never even considered doing that. There is, okay. So first of all, I have a macro setup, so I don't have to break my thumb to play this game, because my thumb was already really messed up when I started playing DMC1 recently. So when I hold down the X button, Steam mashes it for me, because, again, I want to keep the use of my thumb for the future. So this will be my Ebony and Ivory speed for the whole game. That's important. There are blue orb fragments scattered throughout the game. Was there one in Mission 1 that I missed? I think there was. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not too worried about it. Game input actually being good? I know, it's crazy. Didn't I miss a secret room in this mission already? The secret rooms are really weird. I don't think their entrances are as well telegraphed as secret missions. I also don't think that matters as much as it would in, like, any other game, because it's not like there are a certain number of set secret missions or whatever. I should just be using the neutral combo here. It's not like you have to do every individual secret mission. You just have to do the secret rooms, which you can do once per difficulty. So if you find, you know, like, what is it? Not even half of the secret rooms. You can just do all of them. You can do those that half in the next difficulty as well. Stream starting soon screen for DMC. I already have one. I just forgot to get it. Play them in release order. Yeah, but DMC 1 is hard to get into. I'm very back and forth on which between DMC 1 and 2 are my favorite. DMC 2 is the Dark Souls 2 of the Devil May Cry series. Probably gonna get a B rank on this mission. I'd be surprised if I did any better than that. Just crawled out of Blighttown. Dante Fox. I'll get in touch with Nikki. So is Devil May Cry 2. Look, I once we get to like Aranguera or like, I don't know, what is my favorite boss in this game? Probably Furia Taurus. Like, again, I'm not gonna defend Infested Chopper or like I don't know. I'm struggling to even think of bad bosses. Joe Cackle. But I will absolutely defend Furia Taurus or Plutonian as some of the best bosses in the series. Bull guy in the sewer? Oh. Yeah. Mundus fight sucks in DMT1, I would agree. I've come around on the Death Scissors. I think the Death Scissors are actually a pretty good enemy. Because they, while I don't think learning them is good, I think fighting them is fun. You mean the VTuber model? I just like it. Thank you for the compliment on the content. DMC2 Stinger is ass. I mean, yeah, that's a fair assessment. The negative range on it does suck a lot. Hey, look, I've gotten every achievement in this game. I think I'm allowed to have an opinion on it that's different from the norm. But yeah, the gunplay, while is very much too good for neurotypicals. True, actually. While the gunplay is very much considered overpowered, I think that's exclusively because people were bad at the game and didn't like it because of that, and then complained about it online without trying to be better. Yeah, Death Scissors are cool, but unintuitive, I would agree. I think it's the same for the Shadows, but the Shadows are a little bit easier to learn. But like the stake, like the face spike kill. Like learning that, how are you supposed to do that? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that I want to talk about in this game, just overall, in terms of like balancing and whatever. I think while I think it would have been cool, like for instance, while I think it would have been cool to have multiple enemies with a bunch of different like, oh, this is a good chance to show off double trigger. While I think it would have been cool to have a bunch of different weapons with different movesets and everything, I don't necessarily dislike the fact that when you choose a weapon, you're choosing damage, range, and speed, as opposed to a moveset outside of the boss fights. Okay, so first of all, the guns are too good thing is really funny to me because DMC1 guns are objectively better, and it's like pretty significantly better too. You can very easily gun spam through pretty much everything. Oh my goodness, I forgot I don't have the aerial heart yet. You can gun spam through pretty much everything in Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 1 and get more DPS out of it than you would in DMC2 or than Melee. Yeah, Stinger Spam. I think Stinger Spam is kind of only good for DPS. Or not DPS, for style though. I think DMC1 is really good because it encourages not using the guns just by having so many different ways to deal with encounters. And obviously gun spam isn't very fun. But then when people get to DMC2, they don't care about fun out of nowhere. Hey, an A. That's better than I was expecting. There is a glitch. Hopefully it doesn't happen, because I probably won't use the SMGs. But there is a glitch where if you use either the SMGs or the double trigger form guns, the speakers will randomly explode, and hopefully I'll be able to mute the stream before that happens. But fair warning, if the game suddenly goes silent while I'm still playing it, take your headphones off. I think that's an HD collection thing, and I've seen one other person talk about it, but it's happened to me like 4 times. They aren't better than poorly designed. Huh? Elaborate? What don't you like about DMC1? There have been very few people I've seen genuinely say they dislike DMC1. A frenemies kind of way. Ouch. I think the first game is a very good puzzle combat hack and slash. I think that's true of this one as well. Though this one leans a lot more into the action than the puzzle. And I don't know. I really don't understand why people hate this game so much, because a lot of the criticisms are just lies. So this is our first actual boss. I've never seen him use the roar in this first attack actually, or in this first fight actually. I love that you can use positioning and especially elevation relative to the boss in order to avoid a lot of his attacks instead of just relying on the iframes from the roll. I also really like that you can stagger the boss with certain attacks. People also don't talk about the fact that there is an aerial combo in this game. Oops. There is also a million stabs with DT, which is awesome. Though I really wish there was a non-DT version of million stabs. Enemies are generally unintuitive, and the moveset is too limited to really appeal to you. I mean, I think the fact that the moveset is limited is kind of what makes the combat work so well in the first game. It's like a Wolfenstein 09 level. I haven't played it, but I'll believe you. The OG Resident Evil 4. Kinda. I do want to level up Ebony and Ivory, but I want to get... when is Infested Chopper? What level is that? I don't remember. There's a blue orb up here. Yeah, right there. I don't remember if that's a full blue orb or not. Fun fact, that is a full blue orb. Fun fact, you get the speed heart, or the quick heart, I think it's called, in this mission. You do not need it. You can just spam roll. And I think that's funny. You need to break through this wood to get through here. Doing that without killing the enemies is a lot harder in hard mode, but it's not impossible. You can choose to ignore the lock-on by holding right trigger. Yeah, like the stream if you're enjoying it. That'd be really nice, actually. Does a lot more than you would probably imagine. You know what? Actually, the one genuinely bad thing about this game is that there are no stinger jumps. Why did he do a really high backflip there? The fact that you can't stinger off a ledge and get a long jump is one thing I genuinely do not like about this game. I could have swore there was a blue orb up here somewhere. Anyway, there's a switch here that you have to hit, and it opens a gate for a short time. And what you're supposed to do is go in here and get the quick heart, which I'm going to because the quick heart is nice to have anyway. But it is not necessary, and I think that's funny. I think this game has a lot more instances of like needing to know enemies in order to do well. Not like, what do I mean by that? Like, for instance, in Devil May Cry 1, you do not need to know the moveset of the Cyclops to like do well while fighting them, because you can just spam jump attacks, right? Or helm splitter. In this game, if you don't know movesets, you're probably going to get hit by a lot of the different enemies. Like, or a good example of that is the Aegon Finesse. These things that have like the wheels that they throw, because those things have very, when they're like off screen, they have a very long attack range compared to everything else. Well, you don't need to know every single move of all the different enemies in Devil May Cry in the same way. I'm glad you made it home safely. What is mixtape? Like the idea of mixtapes in general, or a specific mixtape? The way the style ranking, I'm not gonna hit that yet. The way the style ranking in this game works is a little weird compared to other games as far as I know. Or, well, it's similar to DMC3, but it's a lot harsher. Which is why getting S ranks in this game is so difficult compared to the other games. And DMC1 is pretty much just orbs and time and damage, which is fairly easy to get S ranks on. The game mixtape, I have not heard of it. I don't want to do the secret rooms. The secret rooms are not as good as the secret missions, I will happily admit that. Some of them are interesting. I think that the like combinations they have of enemies can be fun, but when the secret rooms are how you get most of the blue orb fragments, I think there are other interesting ways they could have done that. And that is one thing that I will say I don't like about Devil May Cry 2 without any caveats. I don't like about Devil May Cry 2 compared to the other games without any caveats. You know what? That's fair. I did maybe 3, I think, of the Devil May Cry 3 secret missions, and I didn't enjoy any of them. The Devil May Cry 1 secret missions were a lot better. Some of the 4 ones were alright. I think I did 2 of the Devil May Cry 5 ones. In concept, I think they're better. This is also one of the things that I think is just bad about this game. This is maybe one of the worst bosses in the series. It's certainly up there. Oop, that one was a skill issue. Ow. I forgot I had that big of an attack range. Okay, so when you destroy a tentacle, you can hop up here, because the poison will be gone, and you can just start whacking on it. I like to use DT, so I don't have to destroy a tentacle every time. There's a hidden mechanic, I think is it Majin DT? Or double trigger, I guess I should say. That's the yellow bar in the top left. It changes color based on the top segment of the amulet. The little circle. Right now I have the lightning heart, which is arguably the best one. Fire is also good as far as I know. Ouch. Ouch. I'm being very not careful because I don't want to fight this boss for Or I want to fight this boss for as short of a time as I possibly can. And the easiest way to do a bunch of damage quickly is by just not being careful at all. Well, I mean, having Majin DT would be really nice here. It's for those of you who don't know, it's effectively the same concept as the red Tearstone Ring, where if your health is low, you go into double trigger, you get a ton of damage. But it only works in double trigger, unlike RDSR. I think destroying one of the side ones is best, just because it's like a lot easier to avoid the other ones when you're in the side, but overall. I didn't have any trouble with this boss in Dante Must Die, so it's like, I don't know, it's hard to hate it, but it is certainly my least favorite boss in the game. Majin makes you invulnerable? Actually, I didn't know that. It also lasts a lot less time than normal double trigger. Makes DMC2 speedruns actually cool. I think DMC2 makes DMC2 speedruns actually cool, but yeah. I see where you're coming from. I think it is the most interesting part of DMC2 speedruns. God, I think I do want to level up Rebellion. No, I think I want to level up Ebony and Ivory, actually, so that I can have more damage for Infested Chopper. Worse than Infested Chopper? Actually, absolutely. You can use double trigger in interesting ways on Infested Chopper. You can't on Dracacom. So this is Freaky and Gary. Very good enemy type. They show up 3 times throughout the course of the entire game. Once on their own, 2 other times with a specific mini boss that we'll get to. Generally, it's recommended that you just stay in the air and shoot. Obviously, the sword will do more damage, but doing that without getting hit can be difficult. There are rooms in Bloody Palace that is just like 20 of these guys, and those are some of the worst rooms in any version of Bloody Palace throughout the series. One of the few enemy, like normal enemy types that I think is just bad. I think they could have done this interestingly. I don't think they did, though. Unfortunately. As much as I want to praise this game, there are things that I understand why people dislike. But it's also an instance of, like, while there are things that I understand why people dislike them, I don't understand why people despise the game because of it. Because a lot of the negatives are easily ignorable, in the sense that they're not that bad. Like, they're either such a short part of the game that it doesn't matter. Like, I could point out, you know, just as many things that I don't like about DMC3 or DMC1. But this is the game that people shit on for some reason. In fact, probably more in DMC3. I don't like any of the bosses in DMC3. It replaces freaking Gary with 2 small sifs. That's genius. I need to learn how to mod this game. I will be the... I will make a better version of DMC2, and all it is replacing Freaky and Gary. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, to be honest. Go time. Is it this mission with the Infested Chopper, or is it the next mission? I actually don't remember. Oh, there's another. Sweet. Some of the enemies just being off-screen all the time is... I see why... That's another thing that's like, I see why that's a negative, but it's also such a small thing and so few enemies that do it. And most of the time, you don't even need to fight those enemies. I think that is... Off the top of my head, that's the only instance in the game where you're required to fight Puius. There might be another that I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure. Oh. Ouch. I don't know. I prefer Devil May Cry 2's combat, to be honest. Like, I do think that like the styles are interesting in concept, I don't think that they carry the game in any way. Million Stabs probably isn't the best DT combo, but I like it the most. And that's really what the game is about, style, right? Oh goodness. That reminds me of the bear grab attack from Elden Ring. I think Rainstorm actually does more damage than normal gun spam. Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, this game has a lot more interesting verticality in its combat than the other games, in my opinion. Like, instead of enemies just flying away, you can use verticality yourself, you know? Like, you can do that a bit in DMC1. Phantom comes to mind, where if you're jumping, he's not going to be able to hit you with his, like, jump attack, you know? Otherwise, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that they use verticality for in the first game. While using verticality is extremely useful on Guerra and... what's the other one? What's his name? Bolverk. It's also useful on, like, the Plutonian, while it can be well, Bolverk also has ways to, like, specifically punish you using verticality, which I think is interesting, too. Oof, I wasn't paying attention. This eye on the top of the tank, it's kind of hard to see, but that's, like, the weak spot. I don't think I've ever been hit by the second tank like that. But the eye is a weak point. So it's dangerous to be up here because there's a little gun on top of the tank that will start attacking you if you stay up here too long. If you attack it from the side, you do a lot less damage, but you can also do Helm Splitters to hit it like that. So even the things that people complain about most in this game, I think have a lot of interesting ways to overcome the things that people specifically complain about. Oops. There's the gun I was talking about. Like, yeah, you can sit here and do this the whole time, but obviously that's not going to be as interesting, right? This is going to be a lot less fun than actually engaging with the weak point that you're supposed to use to speed up the fight, because obviously the fight isn't going to be interesting if you don't do that. And again, I'm not going to, like, say that this is the best enemy in the series or whatever. I obviously don't think that's true. Like, look what I'm doing, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be, for sure. Okay. That one actually healed me. I don't think I actually picked up the orbs from the other one, though. Also, like, the more complex arenas that this game has as opposed to the first game. Not that the first game had bad arenas. They just, for the most part, weren't as interesting, in my opinion. Okay. I think I want to keep my DT for the chopper chase. Oh my goodness. You can actually see the gun move, like, toward you to see when it's going to attack, but it's very difficult to make out. Yeah, I cannot tell where it's pointing. There you go. The reason I'm holding onto my DT is so I can use... I should have the aerial heart equipped. Customizing your DT is very cool, and something that they didn't bring back for some reason. That seems to be a pattern in games that are widely hated by the community, where they have a lot of really cool ideas that everyone agrees is cool, but they just weren't brought back, likely because the community hated the game. Like, for me, in this game, that's being able to customize your DT form, but it's also, like, the joystick combos as opposed to the button timing combos. Especially in, like, 5, I think the joystick, or 4 and 5, I think the joystick combos would have been a lot more interesting in those games, but, you know, it was from DMC2, so they couldn't bring it back. Okay. Here is... well, actually, I guess we have one more platforming segment, but we're getting up on what is maybe the most infamous part of the entire game. It's either this or maybe Etrusmegia, but that's so much farther in the game that it's not talked about as much, because most people who didn't like this boss didn't continue in the game, even though the next couple bosses are some of my favorite in the series. My sweeping shotgun into sword combos. I don't think I've ever used the shotgun in this game. Not on purpose, anyway. There's a blue orb. Hey, I found it. I was gonna say there's a blue orb in this level, but I don't, but I don't remember where, but I found it. I don't know, I find the shotgun relatively useless. Not great, but they're cool. That is true. DMC1 shotgun is very silly. I like the DMC1 shotgun, and I wish they would have kept it that good. Rather, I wish there were enemies that it was good against, like in DMC1. Because, it's not that the shotgun is bad, it's that the enemies don't require the same kind of approaches, where the shotgun isn't useful against certain enemies like it would be in that game. Immediately, really good arena design. The fact that the pillar where the camera is broken is really cool. Not a great camera, but it's DMC. It's not like that's exclusive to this game. I think the idea, like what you're supposed to do is... Okay, so immediately, you're not supposed to just spam guns the entire time on this fight. And you do have an aerial combo that you can make it, or take advantage of and use. You also have the aerial heart that you literally just got that you can use to do a ton of damage on top of having DT guns. I think this fight is kind of more DT management than it is just like spamming guns. I don't think people really think about that, because like when speedrunners play this, you know, they just use Majin DT or whatever, but there are ways that you can approach even relatively uninteresting fights in cool ways. Again, this is not a thing that I'm going to defend. I don't think this is a wonderful boss fight or whatever. I just think there are things that you can do to make it less uninteresting, you know? I will say, I really wish the missiles could actually hit it and deal damage to it. I don't think they can, but it would be so cool if they could. I don't know if it's like DMC1 where your fire rate is faster if you're in midair. Or your max fire rate, anyway. You do also kind of need to be careful about shooting the pillars, but that's not difficult to do, obviously. Oh my goodness. I think if the camera was a little bit better, this fight would also be a lot less hated, but... Yeah, I don't know. People don't talk about the aerial combo in this game, ever. I think that's annoying, because this game being the first one to have an aerial combo, and also it not being tied to a specific style, is really great. It's also really useful for a lot of different combat encounters. Beautiful Joe. I've heard of that game, but I haven't actually seen anyone play it. Okay. Really funny in-game cutscene there. Followed by the coolest end-of-level transition. Maybe the coolest in the game. Sads. I don't know. There's a lot of competition, admittedly. Okay, so we have a boss, another boss immediately, who is one of my favorites in this game, and one of my favorites in the series. I think it's really interesting the way it uses positioning, and the weird, obscure mechanics that you don't really think of when you see this boss. Like, in the first phase here, it'll start spawning bats, and those bats, you can prevent it from spawning by attacking its hands, and I didn't know that until extremely recently. I think if you don't hit with the aerial combo, you lose height, but if you do hit, you maintain height. So it's a little bit difficult to use, but is very useful when you can, when you like learn how to use it. Also looks cool. Though, it's Devil May Cry. How do you switch targets in this game? Can you? Do you tap RT to switch targets? I think so. But using melee kind of makes destroying the hands to stop the bat spawning pointless, because obviously it's a lot easier to choose your attack target when you're using melee. I do want to save all my double trigger for phase 2. Oops. Oh my goodness, the bats hit me. I'm hoping I'll be able to beat this game in 3 hours. I should be able to. Alright, that attack. I think while watching the cutscenes, I beat it in just over 3 hours, so... Okay, that was a little greedy, but that's okay. Can you do the first part of the aerial combo and then double jump and then do the first part again? I've never actually tried that. You can. Cool. Who would have thought that the combat in the game with the most focus on the action part of the combat would have good combat? Okay, phase 2, his head pops off, and he starts crawling around. Very cool design, too. Not necessarily what I intended to do, but that's okay. He also gains a lot of really interesting attacks in hard mode. I do really wish, like I said, that hard mode was the default, and then normal mode was like an easy mode that was unlocked if you died too much or whatever, like DMC3. Oops. Like this move, you get the lasers at a much faster rate, and you also have lasers coming on different angles and stuff too, as opposed to just a few lasers coming at you like that. And it makes it a very fun boss fight. And standing behind it to avoid... Yeah, this attack and the last one I'm pretty sure are combined in hard mode. Anyway, using positioning to avoid this instead of having to dodge through all of it, I think is really cool too, and not really something that a lot of bosses in the series explore. I don't think this is like the most interesting way to do that, but I think this is Griffin, but better, effectively. Not that that's a high bar, especially after Griffin 3 and Dante Must Die, but, you know. Okay. This is the mission where we get the sword that I want, so I'll actually start getting more melee damage. And also, we get... it's not, but I'm gonna call it a Sonic reference. Because I think that makes it cooler. Right off the bat at the beginning of the level, too. Okay, there's a gold orb over here, which I think just gives you 1,000 orbs if you already have a gold orb. It's not like the other games where you can have multiple. Or yellow? Gold, yeah. A Metal Gear reference with the camera angle, of course. Yeah, this is another instance of not having to fight Puyas if you just don't enjoy them. And you can still S-rank the mission without fighting them. In fact, I think you can beat this level... It's either this one or level 9. It might be both, actually. I don't know. Point is, you can beat multiple levels in this game. At the very least one, but I'm pretty sure multiple, without fighting a single enemy. To be fair, I don't think you were the only person who told me the Metal Gear thing, but I think I did hear it from you first. Isn't there a magic dispenser at the bottom of this? I hope so. I don't want to have to shoot the mines to get DT so I can get that double heart. Okay. I should buy purple orbs at some point. I'll do that after I upgrade Ghetto. Can you get up here without having the area, or without using DT? I'm sure you can, right? I'm gonna switch back to the Electro Heart. I thought I made the Sonic joke, to be honest. Okay. And then I think it's a this room. This room also has the fastest orb farm in the game when you come back to it on mission 9. But I'm not going to be able to do it. Oh my goodness, where is it? I'm not going to be able to do it because you need to come back with the SMGs, which you don't get until later in the game. I want as much spoilers. I mean, there aren't going to be any story spoilers until the thing that you've already seen anyway, so... I don't know. The one thing that annoys me most about the SMGs, the only thing that I don't like about the SMGs, aside from them destroying my speakers, is you get them after the final time you see these fire bats, and these are the enemy that they are most useful for. Does it auto-equip the sword you pick up? No. Black Iron Tarkus reference? Question mark? Like Dr. Eggman in Sonic Adventure 2, the elevator, it's true. Forgot about that mission. It's like the Baron Knights. Wow. I do think it's very silly to have an invisible wall here. Until the elevator comes all the way down. I like the 3-hit combo over the 2-hit combo, only because I think it's cooler. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I can show it off on this guy. Oops. This one. It also flings the enemy up, which is awesome. And high time isn't the only way to fling an enemy upward in this game. Get off of me! I don't think you even need to fight them, actually. This was one of the last blue orbs I found in this game. No, it's on the other side. Never mind. Vertical chops, yeah. I think it's pretty great. Now we're in the microwave. Best sound design in the game, to be honest. God, I really wish I had the the rocket launcher at this point. Very Soul Calibur. I have not played Soul Calibur. Actually, that's not true. I played it a tiny bit as a kid. I played Soul Calibur 4, I think, the one on the GameCube that had Link as a secret character, or as the special character on the GameCube. But I didn't play enough of it to know anything about the game. Soul Calibur 2? Yeah. Or Darth Vader and Yoda, I see. Did I just do some time on accident? I have no idea how to do that in this game, to be honest. Not consistently, anyway. Okay, now, despite having beat all the enemies, we still need to wait. Gotta finish cooking. Uppercut, Stinger, and Guns repeat. You get guaranteed A rank. I like to, if I'm exclusively going for a rank, I like to Stinger and then press the Guns once to remove the staling on the style buildup. Oh yeah. And then Stinger again and repeat. Okay. Up here, and then over here. I think this is one of the hardest blue orbs to find in the game, if not the series. I really struggled to find that one. Why does every other attack from Stray Demon have an AoE? Because they had to set it apart from the Asylum Demon somehow. Oh, you have to be locked on. Well, I certainly was not holding the lock-on button, so I'm not sure why. Doing that next time you play the games, yeah. DMC2 has the most exploitable style meter, and yet has the hardest style ranking in the series, so... this one is a secret room. Do I care? I like having a little bit of health. I'm gonna do at least some of these. There are some very silly entrances. Like, I don't think the coffin in the second level is any worse than, like, the captain in, like, mission 13 or whatever of the first game, but... he does the same thing. Okay, I'm holding RB, and I'm pointing towards other enemies. Is it... Oh, there we go. It seems kind of finicky. Is it, like, distance-based? Very difficult secret mission, by the way. That's why people say guns are too good in this game, but there are very few enemy types that I do that with. Okay. Pew 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 pew. Indeed. Wow. Takes a sec for Dante to notice him. I see. Oh wait, no, I was right. I skipped the power-up screen for a second. Welcome to... God damn it. Hold on, wait. Stop. Welcome to one of my favorite bosses in the game. You have to be pretty close. Never stylish enough. Oh, so close. Once I get Vendetta fully upgraded, I'll start buying exclusively purple orbs, I think. Licking the stream. Thank you, I appreciate that. Oops. I forgot he did that. As much as I do really enjoy this boss, it's been a while since I fought him. If you time your, Oh, damn it. I was trying to high time there, but I messed up the input. What was I saying? I don't even remember. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, if you time when you get knocked down onto the ground, if you immediately press the get up button, the dodge button, you'll get up much, much quicker. Which I think is really cool. Did he stagger from gunshots? I didn't know he did that. The Electro Heart does multiple hits here. If you see the like lightning coming down behind him, it's kind of hard to see with an enemy this big, but the Electro Heart does quite a bit of damage and can do a bunch of multi-hits. I'm not too concerned about not taking very much damage here, because I would not complain about a chance to show off Majin DT. And I think this is a good time to... Oh my god! I'm alive? Everything's fine. Perfect. Perfectly planned. So this is Majin DT. Perfect. Yeah, Taurus Demon and Smelter Demon, true. Okay, there are 18 missions in this game, so technically this is the halfway point. Some of the later missions are a bit longer. Fighting game mechanic? Yeah, I mean, you can tech in like Smash Bros and stuff too. Teching isn't a unique or a new concept to me. I just think that it's really cool that it's in Devil May Cry 2 of all games. This game has a lot of tech that people don't know about because people hate it for no reason. There's a lot of not super hidden stuff, but stuff you wouldn't find just playing through once casually. Play fighting games with you? I'm terrible at fighting games. I'm really bad at fighting games. At least non-platform fighters. And I also haven't played a platform fighter in forever. I'm also bad at platform fighters. The voice in this mission reminds me of the old like home phone like text-to-speech, the call from, and then it would read out the contact and like or the location if you didn't have the number as a contact. And I'm not the only, I know I'm not the only one who thinks that when I hear this voice, but I don't know how common of an experience it is. Data games you haven't played a lot of? Yeah, that's true. But I haven't enjoyed the fighting games that I have played enough to want to get good at them, to be fair. I don't know. It's not just that I haven't played them a lot, it's that I haven't played them a lot for a reason. I am willing to give it a try. Come on. This is an instance where a lot of people think you either need to fight the Puyas or like jank your way through it, but if you just hold RT, the lock-on will not lock on. You can just hold RT and then attack the thingy. And you don't need to worry about the enemies at all. I mean, I liked Smash when I used to play it. Which, haven't in a long time, but you know. Tournament banned Kakyon. Kakyon is the best JoJo's character, so I guess it makes sense that he was too good in the fighting game. So the lore here is that this is post Lucia's level, right? Because Lucia activates the fan. I think it's funny that entering the airplane makes it crash into the fan, and the implication is that the weight from Dante was just a little bit too much. Okay. Oops. I can get level 4 Vendetta. $40K for level 5. I don't know if that's worth it in New Game. So I don't know how important purple orbs are either. This is... Okay, well, first of all, I think there's a blue orb here. Or fragment, anyway. But also, this is maybe one of the least intuitive secret mission, or secret room entrances in the game. I think that one's pretty absurd. It's not as bad as a very similar one. No, I would say it's probably worse than a very similar one in the first game, because in the first game that one at least had text on it. So it made sense that it was something you could interact with, and it took you to the same spot. Blorb fragrance, indeed. Dante is smelling the blorbs. You think Dante smells like blorbs? After you collect enough? Oh. I got hit right as I activated DT, of course. Yes? Okay, cool. I'm not sure how many fragments I have. That should be a full. Wait. Did I already get a full? That's not the button. Okay, now the next one is a full. These switches. I don't know why. I really struggled with these two switches in my first playthrough. I remember it took me at least more than one attempt for having that blorb smell, but he doesn't notice their scent anymore. True. The second bar must be what does it. I think it's really funny that top chat blocked you, Pangolin, but not. That feels discriminatory. Okay. One of the infamously good bosses in this game. I actually don't hate this one, because you can kind of... Oh, right, there's a combat section first. I don't hate this one because you can kind of triage it a little bit in an interesting way, but I understand why it's hated. God damn it, I hate the Savage Golems, though. No! Ugh. Oh wait, if you hold RT, it won't lose the lock-on, will it? Or RB, I mean. I guess I should have been doing that. That makes them a lot less annoying. Top chat blocked your message, but not the other one that said Chode in it. For some reason. Demonochorus, the best enemy in the game, by the way. Discrimination. You kind of need to be careful with the double jump, because if you start spamming square immediately, after you double jump, you'll do the rain, the shower, or whatever it's called. But as long as you're careful to wait a second, it's not. It'll always actually shoot at the enemy instead of straight down. Okay, and now we have to destroy a bunch of larvae. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's one down. Oops. You can destroy them as they're coming out, but you have to be very quick with it. Like our streamer unwashed. Hello, Zyra. Welcome. I assume that's how you pronounce that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Ah. Oh my goodness. Shooting them with guns is a lot easier, but also less damage. There we go. I'll figure it out. I think the 3-hit does the most damage. I'm not entirely sure on that. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I don't think you can DT out of this grab. Yeah, no. Which I think is one of the very few DTs in the series that, or very few grabs in the series that you can't DT out of. There we go. I think that's the last one, yep. This next mission, as what I was told, is the DMC2 floor. And that is the only reference to that name that I have ever seen. Yeah, the down and up top, that's the 3-hit combo. I call it that because you do 3 hits before initiating the combo, as opposed to the combo being only 3 hits. It's also one of the slower combos to perform. Worm obliterated. True. Yeah, excuse me. There's a secret mission here that I want to do because this will get me a full blorb. And upgrade my health a bit. Oh wait, no, I have to do one more after this, I forgot. The second instance of me actually fighting Puius, and it's in a secret mission, by the way. I'm pretty sure there are there's only one instance of it being required to fight Puius. Oh wait, no, there are some in that survive segment. Above CD. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't think that's very intuitive, because does the game call it that, actually? Nope, it's in this one. I don't think it's in here. It makes sense with the rest of the series, but I don't think it's very intuitive, personally. Especially with the way I describe it. I don't know. It does make sense, though. Anyway, here is what I was told is the DMC2 floor. Very striking. It's up to survive for 3 minutes twice. We'll get there. Oh, Strife. My beloved. Strife is a fitting last name. Oh wait, these guys aren't required, huh? It's okay. Why do they have key smash names? I think that Devil May Cry 2 has some of the most interesting enemy names in the series. Because at least it's not just the 7 deadly sins, you know? I think that's all of them. Or like... Sin scissors. Shadow. Oh my god. I landed it. This is the game for transfems. True. That's why I like it. Look, I don't think it's bad that the enemies had a theme. I think the theme that they went with was relatively uninteresting. I think they could have done better. Okay. Admittedly, that is difficult to get through, and I am impressed with myself for getting through that so quickly. The eighth sin. The secret eighth sin. Okay. Is there anything in this room? It feels like there should be something in this room. Huh, I guess not. I should have jumped. I don't think I've ever gotten hit by that. That's a first. Okay, well, time to reset the mission. The theme was appropriate. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. But it's still kind of boring. Look, I like Dante's Inferno. I think it's a fun book. Okay. It comes back? That's really funny. Oh my goodness. The second time I've ever gotten hit by that. Jesus. I wasn't expecting it to come back. Hating for the sake of hating? I'm not a DMC2 hater, okay? I choose what to hate. Sisyphus's ball. Ooh. Oops. I think if I just spam B, I'll... Yeah, okay. Just spam the dodge button. Okay, so, yeah, okay. I remember where our last of the 3 swords in this game are. I'll talk more about that, because I did mention it earlier, that I do think it would have been cool to have different weapon movesets. But the fact that they didn't isn't really a big deal, and I think that the choice that they gave you was still an interesting one. Once you destroy that, this little wall opens up, and you can find our last, oh my goodness, of the 3 swords, Merciless. Merciless is long, but doesn't do as much damage. Vendetta is short, but does more damage, and I think they have speed differences too. I don't remember. And then Rebellion is obviously in the middle. I think that's a fairly interesting choice, if not as interesting as different movesets, like I said. This room is great. I already had the aerial heart equipped, because you can skip it. I think there's a secret mission in here too, actually. It's one of these weird door-looking things, except one of them is actually a door. And the Dark Souls messages on these platforms too. Leon backwards this game? Oh yeah, the backflips. I am not a DMC3 hater. I like all the games. Except the reboot, but there are interesting parts of the reboot, like Aquila, and that's kind of it. Hi Nikki, yeah, Devil May Cry. I was debating whether to do this on this channel or my second channel, but I thought it was fine here. I know there are people who watch Dark Souls who also like DMC. I'm sure there's some overlap. I think Reboot had a lot of potential that was completely wasted by like misogyny and fatphobia and whatever else they had going on. Mundus instead of Mundus. Like, make fun of Goobus Miras all you want, but... Okay, it's better than Lust for an enemy that doesn't look anything like anything that would represent Lust. Oh wait, is that the entrance or the secret here? I don't remember. Where's the secret thingy? Ah! Can you just get up here? I don't know. Okay, so the Mondays? Elaborate. What do you mean? I don't know if you... Okay, that time I just didn't press the jump button early enough. I don't know if it's actually pronounced Goobus Mira, but I like pronouncing it like that. I think it's funny. The jailers are those punished for the sin of lust, and I don't think their design reflects that, and I think that's boring. I'm sorry for having good opinions. Okay, is it here? I think it's in this corner. Yeah, here it is. This is where the SMGs are. If you don't get Merciless in this mission, you can get it later in, like, mission, I want to say 13? One of those. Okay. Anyway, the SMGs kind of have lost all usefulness at this point, unfortunately, but they're very good for New Game Plus in certain instances. I don't think I've ever properly done this platforming. Those platforms disappear. Why am I grabbing the SMGs to show that they're here? Look, I have a hard time going through games without getting everything that is, at the very least, easy to get. Okay. I don't know the timing on these. Besides, what if I want to play New Game Plus? You know? There are instances where they are useful. You if you were a gun? Why? Okay. And then that turns into an elevator. You can't just use the aerial heart to skip all of this. You're stuck on your harp on here? That's true. Well, because they're sub, yeah. So that's a good point. Safer playing a Game Plus? That's true, but like, what if I decide I want to play New Game Plus on this save file instead? Okay, welcome to the worst Devil Heart to get. Vendetta makes it, or Merciless makes it slightly easier. So you can attack multiple of them at once. I'm gonna switch to this one. Not that one. What did I even do? I don't deserve this. Oh my goodness, come on. Oh, they restore health while you're attacking the other ones, don't they? Yeah, I'm gonna equip the Quick Heart, which should make this very slightly easier. Hey, first try! If you don't go fast enough, the thingy will come back. Oh, that's the... Where do you get the offense heart? There will be a barrier around this if you don't go quick enough, which is very annoying, because you need to go very fast for that. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna switch back to Vendetta for damage. And fight. Ooh, a boss. Which, we get the wolves back, of course. But we also get this guy, who is being very chill right now, because I'm playing on normal. I forgot I'm playing on normal. If I wasn't in DT, he would have launched me across the entire room. Ah! See? Case in point. 2 sips, true. Unfortunately, they're a lot less fun to fight than Sif. Ouch. Ah! What the heck? I've never seen that attack before, actually. I really wish you could see the health bar of the wolves. Okay, there's one down. Ah, the timing on that is so weird. Get up! Oh my goodness, I've never seen that attack either. A lot of the attacks... Did he just hit his own wolf? I didn't know they could do that. A lot of the attacks are ones that you have, or that Dante has in other games. I think all of them are, actually. Except for, like, maybe the big, super far range slashes and stuff. There we go. Okay. And now, I think without... Oh my goodness, I forgot about that one. Virgil attack. I think without the wolves, this is actually a fairly solid fight. Not one of my favorites in the game, but not one that I hate by any means. Better than, like, Jakat Golem anyway. Like Bulwark Spear. Yeah, it's pretty good. Million Stabs is very good on this guy. Exclusive attacks for Pride Month? That makes sense. Does that imply that Bulwark is gay? Or at least queer in some way? Died to Sif 3 times this week? I'm sorry. I hope you were eventually able to beat her. Oh, something I haven't really talked about, but matters. I think it's specifically an HD collection thing. If you just use the default Steam profile, the sticks don't work like they should, and when you're moving diagonally, you're not going to move at full speed. There's a fix you can do. I can't really show it on stream, I don't think. There's a fix you can do where you set the sensitivity to a certain setting. You can also make your stick WASD, but that gives you a lot less control. Bulwark's definitely gay. True, I guess if Dante and Virgil are gay, and he's supposed to parallel Dante and Virgil. Anyway, welcome to the best room in the game. You have to hit... Ouch. These... What shape is this? Octahedrons? Without getting hit by the electricity or the Sargassos all over the place. 100% the Sargassos are only there, so you can't lock onto things as easily. Though, if you try to not use lock on here, if you try to hold the right trigger, Dante will actually have a harder time hitting the thingies. Because he does actually kind of lock onto them very softly. So you just kind of need to jump vaguely near them to break them, but it still sucks a lot. The room is constantly rotating and it's very disorienting. The lightning or the electricity is only there to be annoying. So it just kind of sucks. D8's true. Square by pyramids. There we go. Palm splitter moment. Is this the one that starts you with... Yeah. This is the one that starts you with a Vital Star and a Devil Star. Chances are, I died a Plutonian. But... I also might not. Because it was funny. Unfortunately, there is no rocket rolling in this one. Anyway, I'm not going to do that because that's boring. Yeah, die to plutonium. I'm going to die of radiation poisoning. Oh wait, I can just Majin DT if I get low health, it's fine. I think normal mode, Devil May Cry 2, is probably the easiest normal mode of the series. If you don't care about ranks anyway. If you do care about ranks, it's very, very difficult to do well. There we go. I think Dante Must Die is also probably the easiest of the Dante Must Dies that I've done. Which... Actually, no, I've only done TMC1 Dante Must Die. From what I've seen, it also seems like the easiest. But again, the ranks are insanely difficult to do well on in this game because of the extremely strict style system. Okay. I think that one big complaint that a lot of people have with this game is the reuse of it. Oh yeah, this is the Arius fight. Hold on. I'm not going to talk about that yet. I will talk about that in a sec, but not yet. I hate that he has iframes when he's knocked down. Like fighting the Night Invaders and Night Rain. Gotta tie it back to the Soul for the Souls audience somehow. He's just choosing to not move, huh? I'm not gonna complain about that, I guess. I think speedrunners can beat that in like 12 seconds, 13 seconds or something stupid like that. Very not difficult fight, thankfully. And also, probably the fastest way to farm red orbs is Lucia, if you just do that mission over and over again. There's a much, much faster way as Dante, but I did that fight like probably, I don't know, at least a dozen times as Lucia. Maybe I should level up Ebony and Ivory real quick. Get them maxed out. Because Arius was also gay. True. That makes sense. Anyway, I think a lot of people's complaints, as far as I know, are also that this game reuses environments and also has uninteresting levels, which I think is really weird, because I very much disagree. Oh my goodness. I think its reuse of environments is really good and really interesting, especially like when you start going through similar levels as Lucia. Hopefully that dog outside isn't coming through. Oh my goodness, don't lock on, please. And there's also, or I like how like you go back to the first level but corrupted near the end of the game, and I think that like really brings in how scary the demon world can be. I hope I don't have to fight this guy. I just want to hit the switch. Sticky white stuff. Wow, like Demon Souls. Okay. One down, 3 to go. I also really just love the environments in this game. I think this game has the most interesting environments in the series. It's outside of maybe 4. I also really like 4's environments, but I think I like this game's more. And a poppy growing on sand in Minecraft? Probably just a generation thingy. Human? Like Devil May Cry? Exactly like that. Yeah, I don't know. I really like how this game looks. I love the vibe. I love the art style. I love a lot about this game that other people will say is bad. Merciless will be here, like leaned up against this wall, I think, if you don't get it in mission 8 or 9. Oops, come on. I'm actually going to only do a couple of hits each time, because if I try to do the long hit combo, that's probably going to happen. Oh my goodness. That didn't hit. And it's either this or fight all the enemies here, which wouldn't be a bad thing, but I want to get through this a little bit quicker than that. One funny thing that I did, I was told that a lot of people don't like this game because there are empty hallways and whatever. And so I took a screenshot of the sewer in Devil May Cry 1. The one right before you fight the Death Scissor, where there's nothing ever in there except for the Death Scissor fight and one hallway phantom. And it's a giant room that does not warrant that at all. I don't think I need to worry about anything here. Oh no, wait. There's one of the switches here. I was thinking this was somewhere else. Oops, come on. Main export of the slug zone, true. I need to find that video of the original slug. There we go. That one was much easier. And there's one more where I'm actually going to fight the enemies because the enemies here are easy to kill, and there aren't that many of them. DMC2 is so not good, and why do you say that? Because I guarantee I've talked about it this stream already. Is there another thingy up here? Just red orb. Oh, come on. Unfortunate. I think if you have your Vendetta maxed out, a single Stinger will, ouch, take these guys out. Oop. Accidental Rainstorm or whatever that attack is called is annoying. The one positive to Gunslinger existing is you don't accidentally do that in other games. DMCA. I don't think that's what that stands for, but I don't know. With this version of Dante, maybe. I wouldn't complain. Oop. I'm not paying attention. I should be. Okay, I think that's all of them. And how difficult... Difficult, okay. I was gonna say how difficult is it to hit with the aerial combo, and very. I'm sure you could get this switch much quicker if you actually use the aerial combo, though. Eventually I'm gonna make like a proper scripted video that really goes into detail about everything I genuinely do really like about this game. But I wanted to get my thoughts out somehow, and because I can't stream for the next couple of weeks, I thought this was a fun way to do that. So this isn't a replacement for that video, but it is something to take its place for at least a little bit. Holy Blorb. I don't think I'm gonna have enough orbs to max out Vendetta by the time we get to the final boss. Like I said, this game only has 18 missions, unlike the 20 of most other games. I think DMC1 is 22 or 23, I don't remember. And then the rest are pretty much all 20. Hello, Grandma. I wonder if this is a good idea. I assume this doesn't do the same thing as it does in the first game, but... No. I don't think this is an instance of spamming jump attacks being the best idea here. No, certainly not. Why is Phantom even here? Because it's awesome? I genuinely laughed out loud when I saw Phantom in this game for the first time. I thought that was so funny. Refuses to elaborate. They're just too correct to elaborate. Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. Ooh, I didn't know he could do that. I genuinely love that Phantom is in this game. I think it's really stupid, but in a funny way. Oh my god. Can you, does hitting his back deal more damage in this game like it does in the first? There we go. I think I'm gonna start buying purple orbs, actually. God, especially for the next bosses. Objective fact, true. Everyone thinks it, therefore it must be correct. Okay. So for this mission, I think it's finally time to bring up... Yeah, I'm sure he is. Where I finally get to bring up one of my least favorite YouTube videos of all time. By someone called Josh Strife Plays. I like a lot of his videos. I think Was It Good is generally a pretty good series. I think the way he covers Devil May Cry 1, while not entirely accurate, is really good. Same with like Tomb Raider or whatever. The way he talks about Devil May Cry 2 makes it seem like he's not playing the game. He calls the game insultingly easy, and then moments, I mean like actual moments later, will show him getting a D rank on the mission, and I think that is so funny. Okay, the easiest way, there's a thingy here, and I think the easiest way to break it is to lure the flying guys, the Diminochorus, onto it and just knock them down. You can also stinger these guys into it. I think you need to get like 3 or 4 enemies to hit it. I don't remember. and you get a special devil heart. It's also here in Lucia's story in the exact same spot. Oops, I meant to dodge there. So close. Come on. Eh. Almost. Come on. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing up Josh Strife Plays Now is that he said in this mission, you have to survive for 3 minutes twice to end it. That is not even a little bit true. You have to defeat all the enemies in a wave. In fact, I think there is like a mercy thing where if you don't manage to kill all the enemies, within 3 minutes the second time on normal mode and hard mode, then it'll let you through anyway. But in Dante Must Die but in Dante Must Die, it only lets you through after like 3 or 4 or something. That is not the only reason I enjoy it, I assure you. I could defend most of this game pretty easily. With like genuine arguments and whatever. It's not just like oh, I enjoy it. It's like the reason you dislike it is wrong, actually, and you're playing the game wrong if you do genuinely think that. I'm sure you're being silly, but other people are not. Oh, I forgot it automatically equipped that. Okay, so the heart that I just picked up slows down time when you have it active, as opposed to the healing and offense hearts, which are better. Anyway, wow, look at that. Look at that crazy DPS off the guns. Maxed out guns, by the way. So much better than the swords in this game. The swords are basically useless. Yeah, JoJo's reference. Save that one for Devil May Cry 3. It gets a lot stronger there. Okay, I'm not going to be able to kill all of them in time, unfortunately. I'm going to have to go into the second one, and it's just because I was getting the Chrono Heart. Yeah. I don't know if it's like a certain number of enemies that you need to kill, or like a certain number of waves or whatever, or if it's just like there are set waves for the amount of times that you hit the eyeball. I don't know. Every argument I've heard for thinking Devil May Cry 2 is a bad game has not been, in my opinion, a very good argument, and most of them have just been outright incorrect, and I think that's funny. Eyeball deployed. True. This is technically the second time where it's been required for me to fight Puias, but, you know, if I had beaten all the enemies last time, I wouldn't have to fight Puias right now, so. I think it's the second. I'm pretty sure it's the second, because there was the one in, like, Mission 4. Yeah, I think that was the only other time where it was technically required of me to fight Puias. This is all Mahler's fault? True. I agree. Are you ready? I'm glad we can just blame Mahler for thinking games with 2 in the title are bad because they're not the same as the original. I'm glad that's just the Mahler thing. Wow, look how much better the guns are. That's crazy. Okay. Remember that Josh Strife, one of the most prominent reviews that I've seen for this game, by the way, wasn't able to kill all those enemies in 3 full minutes, which would be double the time that it took me. Just remember that. I think that's important information. gonna go ahead and buy another purple orb since I have the money for it. We're coming up on the next cutscene that I want to show off that is extremely important. If you know anything about me or about this game, you know exactly what it is. But it's not... What the... it's not in this mission, it's the next mission. Orbs, true. Okay. What? Ah, get off me. I do wish the enemies spawned more consistently and not in waves, because that would make keeping your style up a bit easier. A bit more consistent. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that it works the way it does. Especially because you can't just keep your style up by rolling. And treating each one as like a distinct combat instance is also kind of cool. I like using the rocket launcher on the blood goats because it pushes them down without having to hit them too many times with the sword. It's also funny. Rocket launcher carried me through the goats on Dante Must Die. Absolutely. And also through a lot of the combat rooms. Oh, one of the very few doors in the game that you actually have to interact with that doesn't lead to a secret mission. I can't believe that hit everything in here. It doesn't usually hit everything at once. Case in point. Okay. Another instance of having to wait for the elevator. Usually fighting those guys does take to the end of the elevator because this one's fairly short compared to the train, the microwave. Dark Souls 2 is peak, that's true. But so is DMC 2. This is a very tall building. It's owned by an evil billionaire? Don't worry, I do the same thing. I have typed DS2 and I'm trying to talk about Devil May Cry so many times. The black sheep of the series games that I actually really like. Very, very similar in a lot of ways. Okay. These purple orbs do a very similar thing to the balls, or to the ball, rather, that comes back. Came back in that other mission, where they will teleport you to a combat mission. My first time playing this game, I did not get hit by any of those. My second time, I did once, and then every subsequent playthrough, I have not gotten hit by those again. Because of an elevator? That's true. Elevators are the connecting factor. There are no elevators. No, that's not true. I was gonna say there are no elevators in DMC 1. There is one, at least. Actually, there are a couple. No, like, traditional elevators, though, I guess. Alright, so this way? I always get lost here. I think it's this way. I think we have to fight Bulwark again here. Yeah. I wonder how good spamming trillion or million stabs here is. I've never actually taken out Bulwark without taking out the dogs first, actually. That's what I meant to do. Ah. His million stabs is by far his most annoying attack. Oh my goodness. Yep, case in point. That is the first time I have ever taken out Bulwark without taking out the dogs first. And it was much quicker. That wouldn't work on Dante Must Die, but it might work on Hardwood. That went shockingly well, actually. Usually, this is the second worst part of this mission. Not even worst, but like one of the most annoying parts of this mission. At least if you don't enjoy the boss. Which I can see not liking Bulwark. Kinda just a lesser Nello Angelo. squiggly zone. True. Okay, and in here. This place is very confusing. I get lost here a lot. But wait, I was switching my gun. Hold on. Jeez. Love the camera angle. Not as bad as some other camera angles. DMC1 definitely has the worst camera angles in the series. I think DMC4 also has a shockingly bad camera. I think DMC4 has a worse camera than 2, just because it gives you the illusion of control. But you have to go clockwise to get from the previous room to here. So that's not exclusively true. Is that all of them? No. I was gonna say that was much faster than I remembered. You go counterclockwise, then clockwise, then counterclockwise again. So going counterclockwise works more often than it doesn't, but it's not 100%. And I think we need to go hit the switch over here to activate the elevator? I don't remember. We're getting close to the end of the game. This was definitely shorter than I thought it was going to be. Is it this way? I think I'm going the wrong way. I do like how squiggly it gets. Yeah, this feels right. Yeah, this is right. Is it? No, damn it, I went the wrong way. No, I did go the right way, never mind. Just kidding. Oh, is this the offense heart, actually? Is that what this is for? Is this bonus on subsequent playthroughs? Because I did definitely do this in my hard mode and DMD playthrough, thinking it was for the elevator. I guess I also didn't try to enter the elevator. Oops. Ouch. I want to save my double trigger for the boss of this mission. For obvious reasons. The one thing that I don't like about the biggest thing that I dislike about the lock-on system in this game is that 100% of the time, Dante prioritizes grounded targets if he's on the ground, regardless of how close the aerial enemy is. So I've had instances of enemies jumping right next to me, and then Dante locking onto a completely random enemy on the other side of the stage just because it happens to be on the ground at the time. Generally, it's not too big of a deal if you learn to work around it. Frost Heart. Oh, where's the offense heart then? I think I'm gonna put on the Flame Heart here. I guess it doesn't matter what else I have on. Oh yeah, this game doesn't have holy waters, does it? I forgot about that. I think I've only used holy waters. I think I used one in hard mode in DMT1, and I used a bunch in Dante Must Die. Actually, is that even true? How many did I use in Dante Must Die? I think I used one. I used at least one on Nello Angelo, 3 in hard mode. I don't remember where else I used holy waters. I very much avoided them for the most part. By the time I was done with Dante Must Die, I had no items in my inventory, though. Oh, that's it? Okay. There are a lot more enemies on this elevator in hard mode and Dante Must Die, for sure. Get ready for one of the best cutscenes in the series, also. Maybe close your eyes if you're epileptic. Yeah, but Smell of Fear is only for 3 hits, isn't it? I think it's a right stick in to switch targets. Stick in? It's a left stick in to switch targets. Ouch. And only one of the 3 faces will take damage at any given time. Oh, you have to hold. You have to hold RB. Okay. The one time I've claw gripped in Devil May Cry. Once they fuse, they take more damage, but for now, it's just kind of a survival phase. These things have a lot less health on normal mode. They take multiple hits each on higher difficulties. Again? Really? Come on. This is like Cerberus. That was one of my favorite cutscenes. Okay. Double trigger. Moat the boss a little bit. I'm not even gonna worry about getting hit here. Doesn't matter. As much damage as I can. And then build up double trigger during this phase this time. There you go. Really? Come on. Come on. Okay. I think the fire one is more annoying than the ice one. But these ice pillars are very annoying. He didn't do it nearly as often last time I fought him. I think the fireballs that the fire one shoots out, the way they track is really frustrating to dodge. Very inconsistent when he starts shooting out like 7 of them in higher difficulties. Especially if it's paired with the lightning. Okay. That should be the end of the fight. I don't think I let Arias talk, actually, before now. I should have, because his voice changes. And I do want to let this these next couple cutscenes play out. Okay. This mission has my favorite cutscene in all of Devil May Cry. It is not the first cutscene. It is the one at the end of the mission, but I would just like to preface this mission with that. My controller is going crazy right now, by the way. They turned vibrate all the way up. Oh, I didn't show the thing with the coin. Oh, whatever. Dante replaces one of the Arcana with his coin. And that's a big plot point. And it's an important one. And why I like the coin in this game, despite a lot of people disliking it. That's not why I like the coin, but I do like the coin in this game.
Now I'll absorb his power. I will become an all-powerful immortal.
I think you can actually see the design on the coin at some point before now. So you can like realize that he switched it. But I don't actually remember.
Is that the medallion?
Anyway, important things there were the thing about really using a shield immediately, of course. Was the thing about the coin, and also the fact that his voice didn't sound like that earlier in the game. Though the fact that his voice does sound like that now is extremely important to my favorite cutscene in the game. Wow. I like to save my DT for when he goes to sit down, which is right now. He likes to teleport away. And then just kind of chill, which I think is really funny. Ah, get off. I'm trying to beat up the old guy here. Old rich white guy. He's not white, but he acts like a white guy. I heard, I don't remember who I heard it from, but I heard that somebody thought that someone in the Netflix DMC was whitewashed when this guy is like, is very obviously not white. Anyway, this is the important cutscene.
King? Yeah. Here's your crown.
That is my favorite line in all of Devil May Cry. Anyway, that was the final Arias fight, and now we get to fight the best boss in the game. Was it Lucia? Lucia shows up for like half a second. Unless we're talking about the Kai, in which case also no? I don't think. I think I'm gonna buy some blorbs. Just in case. The first phase of Argos Axe is pretty atrocious. Especially, well, I don't know. I think the worst one is either the Griffin part, who isn't even in this game, or the Jetpack Golem part, because it has insane resistance to the guns. E? Kai? It was Kai? I would still disagree. I think they did a lot better of a job as that representing Arias as not white as well. In Dante Must Die, every single head is attacking at once, so you don't fight them one at a time. I think this would have been a really interesting idea for a boss if it wasn't like this. I would get up into his face and fight him like that, but the shotgun will, like the spread shot, will just one-shot you. Okay, I'm going to go past the Hringuera head first and do the to the Phantom head first for a very important reason. Can you hit back the fireball in this game, actually? I'm curious. I want to try that. Oop. The timing on that is weird. At least the visuals on it make it look like it's moving a lot faster than it actually is. Okay, I don't know if you can. If you can, it's very precise. Yeah, I don't think so. Or at least I'm not good enough to do it. Each head has a different amount of health as well, which is weird, I think. The Fury Ataris is probably the worst one. It's either the Fury Ataris head or the Jetpack Golem Tentacle. Anyway, you can stand in his armpit and he basically can't hit you. I think one of my attacks moved me and that's why I got hit there. That one's down. This one has insane resistance to the guns for some reason. Like, insane resistance for some reason. You can also stand here and not get hit by it, so you could just stand here forever. That's the last time you watched me play. I don't remember. Yeah, if you stand here, it cannot hit you. God, doing that. That's what I did in Dante Must Die, because I did not want to have to refight this boss, because in Dante Must Die, this sucks. But, ouch. I think I'm just gonna... As much as I would prefer to do this for the Griffin head. I'm scared. Okay, that one's down. Oh. Okay, this guy does not have gun resistance and not hit you, so... At least not very high gun resistance. What's happening? Huh? Almost there. Very not good fight to end the game on, but The second phase is at least pretty good. On the bright side, this is exactly the same as Griffin in the first game, so if you liked Griffin there, you know, not sure why you would, but if you did. Oh, the stagger. Actually, I think this attack is much better telegraphed in this game than in the first game. So if anything, this might be better than Griffin 3. Oh, well. Ouch. Skill issue on my part. Okay, I guess I'm gonna save DT for the second phase, because the second phase is much harder. I'm holding R1 like I'm fighting, or like I'm playing the first game. I do not need to be holding R1 right now. Okay, there we go. Despite this ending on a really bad note, actually, I do like this boss and the final cutscene, but it just... Hello? Oh, you can't hurt it while it's aura farming. While they're aura farming? Ah! This boss is gender fluid as well, which is awesome. I think there's a lot to love about this game, and I feel like people don't talk about the good parts of this game nearly enough. And people don't pay attention to the good parts of the game because they tried the game, held square, and had an easy time, and never tried anything else. Because they saw other people doing the same thing online. I do wonder where that started and why, though. Like, I imagine there was some bias against it because... or some bias against it. Oh my goodness. Because... of just, like, it being different from the first game. But, I don't know. I'm really not sure why the hate for this game started. Because, like, with Dark Souls 2, it's very much because of people like Matthew Matosis and Mahler who like hated on it without really giving the game a chance. And I would not be surprised if it was similar for this game, but... Using a charge shot, by the way, which is not a thing you can do in this game. But very cool. Much better you beat the final boss cutscene than the first game. Oh, I didn't let the... Okay,
Let's go all the way to hell.
there is one cutscene that I need to go back and let play. True, he should have said jackpot there. That is the only problem with that cutscene. Hold on. I forgot to let a cutscene play that I should have let play, because it's a good cutscene. Hour and a half, not too bad. Yeah, probably my best rankings in this game so far. Looks like we have a winner. And like the sky, it feels my heart is becoming clear as well. Oh yeah, you can play as Trish if you beat hard mode on both characters. I think it's this mission. The most important cutscene, true.
You defeated Arius. There's just one thing left. Kill me. Kill me and everything will be over. I thought I was a descendant of the clan that protects Vida Marly. The ones who have the blood of the devils. But the truth is, I was created by Arius, a could become a monster and attack the humans at any time. Now, kill me.
The gun is massive in this cutscene, by the way.
It's your job to hunt devils.
I do genuinely really like the story and presentation of this game. It's corny, but like, it's Devil May Cry. Of course, it's corny. You have to take it at face value, and it becomes very cool. You have to meet it on its own terms, you know. Okay, here it comes.
What? The ritual was incomplete. But the door to the demon world is... Wait. What are you doing?
My job is hunting devils.
Once you enter the demon world, you may never be able to return. I'll go. I'm expendable. You don't need to worry about me. I'm happy if I can die like a human.
No. Devils never cry.
But...
Let's leave it to fate. Heads, I go. Tails, you go. See you around.
The echo. Okay, in the post game cutscene, it is also pointed out that the coin has two sides that are the same, so they're both heads. So he wasn't being aloof; he was just being cool, which is another instance of like you just kind of need to take the game on its own terms, and that's cool. It's obviously cool. Yeah, you can play as Trish in this game if you you have to either beat the game on hard mode as both Dante or Lucia, or Dante and Lucia, or I think there's a cheat code you can put in. I might as well show her off a little bit. She is her combos are more DMC1 than DMC2. So like they're all timing based combos instead of the like joystick direction based combos or whatever. I thought I entered the oh, I can't do that on this profile. Hold on. Well, I'll do that in a second. You have like you have basically exactly the same moveset as Sparta in the first game. I think exactly the same. You don't have like the aerial combo or anything either. And you only get... Oh my god, she shoots so fast. I have the same macro as I did with the other character, or as with Dante. I have no idea why she shoots so fast. But she has Devil Trigger, and probably the strongest attack in this game is from her Devil Trigger. Hold on. Okay, I don't remember when, but you need to hold all four top buttons, the triggers and shoulders. I didn't do it right. Oh, right. Hold on. There's something you need to do in order to... I'm going to do this for a second. In order to activate that, you actually have to change the language to French. I don't know why. Oh my goodness, that was me. Your glasses are so ugly. That's rude. Okay. If your language setting is set to French, and you enter the game while holding all four top buttons, you get the super costume, which in this instance doesn't look any different. And if you have, I think you need the aerial heart. And you hold shoot. At first, it's only one shot, and then it gradually goes up to 5. And it does absurd amounts of damage, and it's very funny. Accidental VTuber model review. Only the PAL versions that had the cheat code? Yeah. It's weird that they put it in this version at all, and tied it behind specific settings. Anyway, I'm not going to go into Bloody Palace or anything, but As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it keeps going at 5, and you do insane amounts of damage with it. It's very funny. I think this Bloody Palace is kind of... there's some interesting things with it, like how every floor that starts with, or that is a multiple of 10, will have a boss. And as you go up 1,000 at a time, or not 1,000, 100 at a time, you can only fight bosses. But there are instances where that's better or worse. It really depends on what you want to do, but you still have to go through, more floors to get to that. But, yeah. I don't know. I like this game a lot. I don't understand why people hate it so much. I don't think I ever will. Probably the result of copy-paste porting, probably true. Let me switch to the Lucia disc for a second so I can just talk about how she plays. For flying, yeah, I agree. They're just floating around. Hold on, the game's open. It's just gotta... Actually, this might count as a different window. Nope, never mind, we're good. Like her spin when she goes up, I agree. Yeah, Echo Chamber is probably, that's true. Oh yeah, and when you beat the game on normal, you get Diesel branded outfits, which I think is really funny. Don't you get something for beating Dante Must Die on both characters? Because I've only done Dante Must Die on Dante so far. I don't want to do it as Lucia. Anyway, I like this one. Oops. Hold on. I want the good outfit. The weird thing with Lucia is that her first mission starts with like a red orb door, like at the very beginning of Devil May Cry 1, which makes me think that you are intended to play as Lucia first. She also has a much shorter campaign. I don't know. Anyway, she has the same combo system with the joystick, but with different combos. Her ranged weapons are throwing knives, and they are much worse than Dante's guns. Which I've seen a lot of people say that Lucia's a better character because of that, which I think is very silly. Her fan daggers are one of the worst attacks, if not just straight up the worst attack in the game. I think people just find it easier to go with the norm. Yeah, but like people defend the norm, you know? Like they'll talk about it like it's obviously true. I don't know. I don't get it. I think maxing out Lucia's health bar was the last thing that I did because it took forever to just grind for orbs. That weird thing about her stinger? Oh yeah, where you have like the... Can't you fly with it somehow? Do you remember how to do that? What is it? There's a specific... Oh yeah, it's like right after you jump you can... How do you do it? I can do it once, but... Is it like right after jumping? No. Is there a specific timing that you can do? There's a... Okay, it's a timing thing. I've never been able to pull that off before because I've never tried. Hold on. There's not really any places in the game. Oh, that's the equivalent of Dante's shoulder check that I did once at the beginning of the game, where you do an attack as soon as you land. What do you even... I don't know. Anyway, I like the game, and I think if you've heard bad things about it, you should give it a shot. That's a lot of the complaints about this game with the guns being way better than the melee is just not true. A lot of the like this game is unfinished, reuses environments, whatever. All that is also not true. Or Chun-Li Tornado, yeah. I don't know. The game's not perfect, but I like it a lot, and I like it more than Devil May Cry 3 for a lot of reasons. She also has like a full proper aerial combo, unlike Dante, who's after 2 hits goes straight into Palm Splitter, which you can also do with her. Weird way to spell Dark Souls 2. It is, I agree. I think I've gotten most of what I want out of my head. Again, I am still gonna make a full video about this game at some point. Like a full proper scripted video where I talk about everything. But I like this game a lot. And I just wanted to get that out there like I did with Sonic 06. Yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. Whether or not I do more Devil May Cry streams in the future, I guess will depend on how people respond to this one. in general. I hope you all enjoyed. I love you all, and I don't know how to end this.